If someone actually they're learning something during first shot.
What should you do? Should you yell at him?
Yeah.
Huh? He brings over here to have to hire a person, a big, strong guy, to go around yelling at everybody. That's what he says. Yishleman is ish chazok bal zroya, a strong person with a strong arm. B'yirei shemayim sheyitnu biyodei shevet moishel. This is more for people speaking Bechlal. Have a stick and go around and punish whoever talks in the middle of Chazar Sajat. Many years ago in Postville, there was when there was only one show, so there was a yid that he was very into making everyone quiet. Unfortunately, it had the opposite results. So, derech kol, these things don't really work.
What you actually do?
What should you do? You should make sure that you pay attention and listen and focus. Cloud, that everyone should take care of themselves. That's the most important thing.
If someone older is learning something, should you tell them to stop? If someone's older, learning something,
You can ask him this halacha. You can ask him. In the past, when I want to know, I look in the sefer. I used to be a kutzav bacher that used to always find to give me musar. So now I looked into the sefer. I got like 20 questions in the Q&A. Whatever. So you can do the same thing if you want. If you see me some older person, just send them a letter in the mail and tell them that you learned halacha. Not supposed to. My advice: mix out. Take care of yourself. Next question: are we allowed to eat from Starbucks? Hey, I'm not sure if the question is eat or drink. I mean, eating in Starbucks, most of the food in Starbucks is not kosher. Regarding the drinking from Starbucks, I assume that's the question. So the coffee from Starbucks, so that's a big shaila b'chlal regarding coffee. I assume the question is drinking coffee. Anybody who wrote the question wants to volunteer? That was the question? Mistama. Yeah, you can assume so, right? Okay, I'll assume that the question was drinking coffee from Starbucks. That's what I assume. So, again, eating most of the food is not kosher, it's not a shayla b'chlal. Regarding the drinking, so it all depends on, there's a number of shaylas. There's a shayla regarding the kelim. It says if they have a kli which only makes pure coffee, it doesn't make anything else, no flavors and no milk and no anything else. And that kli itself is clean. Some of them have fancy machines that have self-clean. You don't have to put them in a dishwasher. There's a system with hot water, with soap, cleans itself out, and nothing else goes in over there. That's one situation. Then there are cases where the machines are put into a dishwasher together with other kelim and together with other not kosher foods. Obviously, then that's an issue. So if the machine goes into dishwashers with other kelim, or if the machine has flavors or milk, then we're not going to use it at all. That's way from Chloe. If it's taka clean and self-clean 100%, so then when it comes to coffee, so there's a shaila if the coffee has to be bishul yisrael or not. Coffee that was brewed by a goy is not considered bishul akum. Is there a need for it to be brewed by a yid? So there's the rule. I'm in the middle of talking, no? Aren't I? So there's a rule by bishul, and the rule is that a food that is not served on a royal table, if a goy cooks it, you're allowed to eat it. So foods that are for the classical example people say, if you want to argue you can, is Rice Krispies. It's if someone cooks a guy that makes Rice Krispies, it's that no one serves Rice Krispies at a royal table. So therefore, if the guy he cooked the Rice Krispies or whatever it was, pop them, however you make them, then it's not a problem of bishul akum. So when it comes to coffee, the question is coffee served on a royal table or not. Some people say coffee is a regular drink, it's not a royal kind of drink, and therefore coffee does not need to be bishul yisrael, and that's how the poskim and halacha. The halacha poskim paskin that coffee brewed by a guy is 100% kosher. However, the Arizal writes that that the coffee that was brewed by a guy is asur mitzad bishul akum. And therefore, according to the Arizal, if you're going to a Starbucks and buying their coffee, is forbidden because it is not kosher, even though the ingredients are 100% kosher because it was brewed by a goy. Are you supposed to take upon yourself this chumrah? It all depends. You ask yourself. I spoke to Choshve Yidden, and some very Choshve Yidden were not makpid. They bought the coffee from these places, and some places were some people that I know are makpid, and they only brew their own coffee. Now, when you come to coffee machines and gas stations, Baruch Hashem, in Postal, we travel a lot, so there's many different type of machines out there. So some of the machines, you have the coffee, you just put the spout and the coffee comes out. That means that it was brewed already before, and according to Arizal, you should not drink it. But I found some gas stations that have sophisticated machines where you have the beans that are already are roasted are inside the container, and it takes a few more extra minutes, but you press a few buttons, and then it grinds those beans, and then it brews it, then it pours hot water onto them. So in that case, you are actually brewing your own coffee. So that would be fair. The way I understand, I mean, there's no, usually those machines have nothing else besides actual beans. In that case, l'chayr it's 100%, even according to Arizal, because you are brewing your own coffee. But otherwise, you could be machmir if you want. But like I said, a lot of Chashim people are not machmir.
So by quick start, you can...
One second, he asked first. Yeah?
If it's the machine that does it, is there a problem?
The machine does what?
Like it makes coffee.
Whoever, like I just explained how it works. But that klal in most of the places, and besides what I described, usually the guy has to put in the ground beans, and he puts in the hot water, and he pours it in, and then it brews it. So he's actually brewing it. It's always a real machine. A pat is a machine also. Everything is not, no hands brewing it like this. So the guy is the one doing it, and that's the case. And then there's what makes to be machmir. 1 second.
Are you allowed to drink the coffee in Starbucks?
It's sitting inside the place itself. So that's a different discussion. I think maybe that was what the Bacher meant. That's a question if people are going to see you and it's going to be a shayla of Mara's side. If you're sitting and eating there and you're from a yid, so people might think, if he's eating that's probably all kosher and I can eat it too. So Rabbi Furman's father-in-law was here a number of years ago, and someone asked, he did Q&A then. I asked him to do Q&A then, and he said. So he was asked that question. So he said when he was a kid, he remembers the Beis Thomas Farbrengen, and after the Beis Farbrengen, it was 2-3 in the morning, and his father was driving back from 770 to Flatbush, and he said down Utica Avenue there's a White Castle. It's a kind of it's a Trefa restaurant. And he said that he remembers over there, he says, a Yid was walking into the White Castle. It's a Trefa restaurant. And he said, as a kid, he was so shocked. And now he's older, he realizes he probably went to the bathroom or get something, maybe a soda or something. But just for looking as a kid then, the mama shook him up. So the Mela mitzad that is better not to go into any kind of not kosher place to sit. The Pel Mamish today, most of the Fruma world eats and drinks Starbucks coffee. Many people they're not makbid on Chalav Yisrael, which is a different conversation. So Ramela, it's not. I don't think you're going to really do much by it. But the l'chayr yesh mokim lahachmir. Even if you're not makbid on the Chumra of Darizal, you should be machmir. Not, I would assume, not to be in the place itself, and you can buy it and walk out l'chayr. But maybe the same Chumra. I don't know the answer for sure. 1 second.
What about working there?
What about working there?
Not working as working as part of the store, but people bring their computers and work there.
I don't know. You asked me 2 new questions without preparing. I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You have a job in yeshiva. What are you working to work on?
I'm not
What did you ask? What did you ask?
I said Rabbi Zerping had the same question. I asked him last week this question, and he said that according to who it was, but you can't eat there. He said it's an issue of narcotics.
Amar Sain, tell me this.
What?
Amar Sain, he said it's a problem.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure exactly what it is, but he's like today or something.
There's such a thing, but I never saw anybody using it practically la halacha.
He said like this.
Yeah, there's such a concept. I know.
He said you shouldn't do that.
Huh?
Because of merit, because of listening to the guy. And he said that there's even a tribal that says after that.
Okay.
Coffee.
How about
So
potato chips?
maybe take that into account.
Yeah.
The circumstance regarding like the cleaning and the big things that if it's for a guy that's doing it for like he's not for
Huh?
kids. If he's not having attention to do it for a yid, it's okay.
How about potato chips?
There's a box for that.
Is there a problem of working as a general staff of Marseille?
Everyone's asking me new questions. The way Q&A works is you put the question in the box, and I have time to prepare. You can't stop me like that. I'm not Rabbi Zirkin, I have all the answers already. I have to go and look it up and prepare, and when I know what I'm saying, I can say it. You're embarrassing me. Just kidding. Put it into the box. If you want to know, I'll look next time. By Ma'ariv, when do we take the 3 steps forward after Shemana Esrei? See, by Ma'ariv, you're supposed, Bechlal, every time you daven with a minion, or anytime you daven Shemana Esrei, Bechlal, actually, not without a minion, after you do Eis Sholem, you're not supposed to go right back, you have to wait. How long do you have to wait for? So by Shachris and Mincha, you're supposed to stand in your spot till the Chazan gets the Kedusha. You're not supposed to walk around, you're not supposed to go back to your spot, till he gets the Kedusha, and then you go back to your spot. By Ma'ariv, there's no Kedusha, but the Baruch is asking till when? So there's in Shulchan Aruch, I don't think, I'm pretty sure it doesn't say anything, but in Svardim it says to wait till Omen Yesh Mirabah. After Shemona Esrei, the Chazan gets to, it says Kaddish Tiskabel. So when he gets to Omen Yesh Mirabah, that's when you're supposed to go back. And Rebbe's minhag is till Tiskabel itself. There's the Kaddish Tiskabel, or tonight Matzah Shabbos we had only a Chatzi Kaddish. So there are 5 Omens in the Kaddish, in the till Tiskabel. So according to Halacha, after you wait till the 3rd Omen, which is Yesh Mirabah, and the Rebbe's minhag is to wait for 2 more Omens till the Kaddish Tiskabel. What is a Zov? Mazeh Zov. Zov is a person that tumah comes out of his body. It's similar to Kerdi, to Zera Levatala, but it's different, meaning it's a different type of substance coming out of the person's body. It's a Machzedek rice that today doesn't exist. It exists in the times of the Mishnayos and the Beis HaMikdash. And the Chayru Mashiach comes, it might come back again, but Al-Kolpanim, that's what a Zov is. Why are we not strict, careful about Yoshan, though on the contrary? So there's a famous Bach. The Bach, there's a machlokes, just to explain what Chodesh and Yoshan is for those that don't know. Chodesh and Yoshan is the tvua, the grains, wheat that grows. So whatever was harvested before Pesach, then after Pesach you're allowed to use it. Whatever was harvested after Pesach, you have to wait till next year to Zayin Nisan, the time of the Korban Omer, only then to use it. So there's a big machlokes if Yoshan applies on Chutz La'aretz or not. Some poskim say that in Chutz La'aretz you have to be careful for Yoshan, and some people say you do not have to be careful for Yoshan. So the Bach, his name was, anybody? Who said? Someone said. You said it. Rabbi Yoel Sirkish, he wrote a sefer called Bayis Chodesh, and he wrote notes on the Gemara, which everyone's most Bachrim are familiar with him from his Agoyis Habach. So he wrote a psak, he wrote a heter why Chodesh is not a Isur in Chutz La'aretz. Why it's mutter in Chutz La'aretz to eat Chodesh, you don't have to be makbid. And there's a story they say that Baal Shem Tov said that every tzaddik, when he passes away, he has to go through